time for unaesthetic PvP talk. This is where I get on here and I just talk about randoneering, but I don't do any production values because I don't have time. And also, let's be honest, randoneering is just kind of like raw dogging cycling anyways, right? You get on a stunner of a bike and you just punch it. So why should my YouTube videos be any different? Here we go. Let's talk about the things that you need to do this year for PvP. I know it sounds confusing. Brest Paris is pretty much like the Burning Man of cycling. And if you would like to go to that, then you have to do some work this year in 2026. Randoneering has a lot of rules. I know it's complicated. It's just the way things are. The sky is blue. Randoneering is complicated. But once you get into it, it's actually pretty simple. So first things first, PvP happens every 4 years, right? Like, this is why it's such a big deal. So the next edition is in 2027. However, if you want to go to that, you need to do a brevet, which is a randoneering ride, in 2026. And that ride is going to be your placement for when you can enter. You see, PvP doesn't open the entries to everybody. It opens them to people that have done a 1,200 or 1,000 kilometer ride. Then it goes down to a 600 kilometer, 400, 300, and 200. See what we did there? So in 2026, you have to do one of these brevets. And as you can imagine, with 8,000 riders globally, if they all did a 1,200K in 2026, the dudes on the 600K won't have a chance to enter. Now, that's probably not the case, so I wouldn't stress it. Now, if you don't want to do a 1,200, I don't blame you. It's a big ride. And if you've never done randoneering, that can be kind of an audacious goal. Fear not, friends. When I did PvP in 2023, I qualified with a 600 kilometer ride. It was the longest ride I'd ever done. I'd never done breveting before. Like, let's just keep it real here. I'm not like some expert randonneur. Maybe, am I now? I don't know. Anyway, point is that you can qualify with even a 200 kilometer brevet. If you want to maybe give yourself a little cushion, I would suggest a 600K. 600 kilometers, one, is a very good test for randoneering for you to see if, do you even like this? Because on a 600 kilometer brevet, you're gonna have to do multi-days. You're gonna have to do a 2-day brevet. So day one, the SFR one here is pretty gnarly. So day one is like a 400K almost. And then day two is a 200, which is nice. The day two feels pretty like chill and dreamy. I know 200K is still a lot of work, but in comparison to a 400, it's kind of mellow. Point being, a 600 kilometer brevet is going to be a perfect test scenario for you, for your training, for your nutrition strategy, for your bike setup, for all of the things. So if you can, when you're looking at your calendars, look at getting a 600 kilometer brevet under your belt in 2026. This comes the next point. How do you do this? Well, you have to join a randoneering club. That is a organization that you're going to become a member of. If you live in America, that means you have to become a member of RUSA, which is Randoneurs USA. That's like the big corporate, it's randoneering, but like that's the big mothership on the top. And then all the different chapters go underneath. I live in San Francisco, so I am part of the SF Randoneurs. You'll have to look up on the rusa.org website to find a randoneering club near you. Again, if you live in the US. If you live in the other parts of the planet, go to Randonneurs Mondiaux, and that's where you can find randoneering club or organization in your country. Canadian Randonneurs, I know that there's different chapters based on provinces. So Ontario Randonneurs or BC Randonneurs. But get on it, because now is the time for you to start training and start to get this a little bit more real. I'm not saying that you can't just rock up and do a 300K. You probably can. If you can do a 200, you can do a 300. And I've definitely said that a few times. However, 600, That's a little tougher to do off the couch. I would definitely suggest you start doing some brevets. First off, you join a randonneur club. It's not expensive. It maybe is like $50 a year. And then for Rusa, and then I think you can join a club for like $20 or something. And the brevets themselves are maybe 10. They might even be less. The point is this is not a cash grab. It's just a little bit of funds so that people can put money against the brevets themselves. A lot of brevets have all sorts of cool stuff at the controls or volunteers that give you food at the end of the ride. It's just a small way to contribute to the community to make this feel special. Because it is. I mean, when you ride a 200-kilometer ride or longer, that's a big deal. That's like, some people never do that in their entire cycling careers. So it's nice that we have a little bit of that, I don't know, flair, if you will. And don't get me wrong, it's not crazy fancy, but when you've done a 200K and someone gives you a great grilled cheese sandwich that's nice and hot, best believe that seems pretty darn fancy. Anyway, I digress. Here's what you're gonna do if you wanna go to PBP in 2027. 1, join a randonneur club. Go figure it out, rusa.org or Randonneurs Mondiaux. Find a club, join it. 2, do a brevet. Do a 200K or a populaire, which is 100 kilometers. But get one of those brevets under your belt so you can better understand, how does this stuff even work? Do you even like it, right? You gotta follow a map with specific controls. You can't just like freestyle this thing. You have to follow the rules and go on the course. And you have to hit certain checkpoints and you have to do it within a time period. There's a lot of stuff you gotta check. But if you like doing a 200K, then the rest is just you riding longer and seeing more cool stuff. So, if you've passed that box, now look on the calendar of events that are offered and find an ACP approved brevet. That's very important. To get your Paris qualifier, ACP is the Audux Club Parisien. And that just means that this is a brevet, right? The course that you do, that's been approved by the Audux Club Parisien, which is essentially the people that make PBP. They're just another randonneur club, except the brevet they put on is the oldest brevet in the entire world. No big deal. So find an ACP approved brevet and sign up for it and put it on the calendar now. So now you have a good idea of how long you have to prepare and to train and to get organized for that 600K or 400 or 300 or 200. But get it on the calendar. But for the most part, a lot of this stuff happens in the spring and the summer. And then after that, it gets a little bit dicey. So do yourself a favor and get organized now, because now is the time. I mean, we're already going into almost February, so we kind of want to get our ish together. All right, to recap, if you haven't joined a randonneur club, get on it, go get that membership now. 2, put a brevet under your belt. A 200K is fantastic. If you need to train, then find one in March, give yourself a few weeks to get ready and go ride it. 3, find a longer brevet, maybe a 400 or a 300. I would suggest a 600 and get that on the calendar. And then you have a target to work towards and you check that box and you get that under your belt. So if you want to go to PBP, give me a follow. I'm going to come back on here with all sorts of tips and tricks and talking about how we can get ready. And I'll show you how I get ready for my brevets. I have a 200K coming up. I'm going to have a 300 and then I'll be doing a 600 and then ultimately I'll be doing a 1400, which I've never done. So that escalated. And that's going to be in August, where I'm going to do the Le Jog, which is the entire length of England from the tippy bottom to the tippy top. So it should be fun. Anyway, appreciate you. Give me a follow right here at Hustle and Half, and we'll be talking all the things randonneuring in the coming weeks. All right, all the best. Oh, and hit me with any questions. I got you. All right, bye.